What's the first bit that worked for you consistently in stand-up?
I'll tell you what it was. Ready?
Closer.
I go into confession.
Well, Mr. Cohen, yeah, that one.
Well,
I don't know it.
Yeah. I
For
am
the fans.
half Jewish, half Catholic. I used to go into confession and bless
Bring
me,
my
Father,
lawyer
for I
with
have
me.
sinned. I think you know, Mr. Cohen. I would bring
I
a
remember
lawyer
doing
into
that.
Yeah, Johnny Carson made me do it every time. Do that one. I love that. The joke. You know, it's like okay, I
love
did it
that
6
one
times
with
on this show, but
Yeah.
okay, I'll do it
The
again.
Jew and the Christian. You know
Yeah.
that one? Can you do that for
One
us
about
again?
the Jews was very. I mean, I do remember the first time, and I remember the date, the exact date, is that important in my life, when I did a full, 20-minute set. I guess it was a Saturday night with a cake crowd, like at Catch, probably.
Yeah.
And, all the way through, 20 minutes, it looked like a professional
Killing.
comedy set and got laughs consistently.
Sure.
That was a big night for me. Wow.
Yeah.
That
Did you just walk around New York after that? I mean, when you're adrenalized from that kind of dream coming true, can I do this? Can I make money doing this?
I walked home that night to my sublet apartment on 99th Street.
Yeah.
99th.
It sounds
you mean you walked
a bit like
uptown?
Harlem.
Spanish Harlem.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, uptown.
you walked
tinge of
uptown.
From the wonderful, from
Yeah.
the Tony
Yeah.
east side of New York, where Catch was on 78th Street, up to Spanish Harlem, where I looked apparently so poor that even the criminals didn't bother me.
They didn't bother.
Did you cry yourself to sleep?
No, but it was a shithole of a place to be in, but I was exultant that night.
Yeah.
I was happier probably as far as serotonin levels that night in that shitbox than I could ever be here in my enormous mansion compound.
Well, we're playing with house money at this point. At that point, it's like, can I fucking do this?
It's your first cocaine
I
hit,
get that.
and then you're chasing it. Going,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your cocaine hit.
Do we have cocaine here?
Yeah.
I want to compare.
There was cocaine here. You came late.
You never did that shit, did you?
I did a little bit, yeah.
No. I burst into tears when I did cocaine.
I like to say I never bought it. Everyone's like, oh, so you just bogarted it all the time? Yeah, it's harder to get it for free if you're a guy.
I never bought it for 10 years, and then I bought it for a couple of years.
Yeah, there you go. Get
I
it out.
hated
That's
it.
the story of cocaine.
Yeah.
I did cocaine and drove to the Comedy Club, the Holy City Zoo in San Francisco, and I teared up and I said, they all hate me in there, and just drove home. Yeah. The cocaine was
It
not
went
good.
the other way?
Went the other way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can.
I turned into John Bonet. I was like, yeah, I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy.
John Bonet.
Yeah, remember her?
When is
She
that?
was fucking all hyped up. Lots of talent.
Old reference lost on younger
I know,
viewers.
but of all
I
the
can
people-
tell you.
I know, but
Well,
if
it's a
you said to me,
reference.
name some people who you would put on the end of a joke to make the
That have a
point
lot
that they
of
were all
energy,
hyped up.
that are
I
talented.
think John Benet
Well,
Ramsey
that's
would be
just
the
his
first,
brain.
That's
He's
why
like
it's
the
funny.
first one that came to
part
mind.
Dennis, part Neil, and he's got a brilliant.
By the way, when we this story we started earlier.
Okay.
When I got in at the Improv, Nealon just got SNL, and I really liked Nealon.
Love
I'd
him.
seen all you
Great-
guys there on
great
the old chalkboard, you know.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, yeah.
I told Nealon just it happened, and I think I was emceeing in the hallway, and I said, "Oh, he got SNL," and I said, and he goes, "I heard you telling like John Mulrooney, and you were renting his place, but you're kicked out." And I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "I'm going to go to SNL. Do you want to rent my room while I'm gone?" And he lived with Dana and Bob Duback.
Beechwood
Remember Bob
Canyon.
Duback? Yeah, in
Yeah,
Beechwood
Beechwood
Canyon.
Remember
Canyon.
that name? I hadn't-
He's
Yeah,
a good-looking comic.
He was the good-looking
Yeah.
stand-up. Yeah.
No one ever said
There was
funny.
a few of them.
Yeah, that's the rudest thing. We're like, aren't you that good-looking?
Oh,
Well, he was very great. He was a great stand-up.
No, he's funny.
Right.
yeah, I hated him because he's good-looking.
He was, yeah.
And so
Exceptionally handsome. And if he'll be seen as Bob.
You'd start
Oh,
by
that
hating.
asshole.
And
No,
then
he
you
just,
back-
we couldn't help it. He was like ridiculous looking.
So I lived
for a
in
stand-up.
Nealon's room. Duback was in the other room. There's another guy, Joe Ryder, and then Dana lived above the
Yeah.
garage with Paula.
Yeah.
And
300.
Dana was doing SNL. Now Kevin's doing it. Everything okay?
Was that,
This guy's like this, squeezing things, droplets. I'm like, do we need to get out of here?
I know. When the powder comes out into what is
Again, the way your mind leaps to.
It jumps,
why,
yeah.
why would that be so? Okay.
Well, you're busy over there.
Because I can't say those
There's a
jokes
lot
on
of
other
other
shows.
You know what? I'm a lifelong pothead, and potheads, it is true, when they sit down and talk to you, it's a whole culture of
tinkering.
like it's
I
you're
smoked
always
pot
tinkering,
constantly
and we like
for
it.
a while. For 1 year, I smoked a lot of weed, 79.
Is this the orb they found in Brazil?
And what happened?
Oh yeah, you smoke weed. What happened? You cried again?
I cried. No, I loved it. I mean, in 78, this isn't funny, but my friend and I, we were seeing Neil Young at the boarding house. And he was doing,
Got a small venue?
Yeah, 300-seater, and he was working out Russ Never Sleeps. But we didn't know that. So we smoked weed. We go in, he's got all the guitars and 12-string, and we thought he was playing to pre-tapes. It was so fucking magic. But a lot of Neil Young that year comes the time.
But this is after he was already big with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Yeah.
So he was just dropping into like
work out this new album, which the first
just
time.
like us.
Yeah.
Usually
new stuff.
musicians don't do that. That's like what we do. Go to a small club to work it out.
Yeah.
What do you do now? Do you go to the comedy
I never
store?
did. Well,
now we're
I don't
heard
do it
he-
anywhere now,
he
so I don't do
quit.
anything. But for all those years, this whole century, I never went. Once I was out of the improv, I was out of the improv. I never felt I needed to try out new stuff.
You don't practice at all before you go on the road and do an hour?
It's all
Wow.
those years that one reason I stopped, and people said, well, you could do it, just do Vegas. No, I was always in shape because I was always doing it.
We always do
Where were
monologues.
you doing?
Well, he's doing his monologue in the show.
Everywhere, just like him. I was on the road every other weekend.
Okay.
I was in Detroit and Chicago, and then it was Memphis.
So you're
and-
working
You'd
your
rather
hour.
take the nights
I
off.
always had it
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
And
That's
I
Dana.
used to use that, a music stand and have
Yeah.
just my
Yeah.
bullet points.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So I was never fighting memory. I knew, there's none of that. What's next? What else?
Yeah.
Not what else with
That's
me. It's
me.
like, no,
That's me. What else is going on?
What is this going? You know, a comedian's
No,
dying when
that
it's like,
wasn't
so
me.
what's
I was
up,
like,
everybody?
No, I'm going to tell you what else, and I'm not going to pause. I love that.
I love
And I
it.
would
I love
work.
it. Nikki
I would
Glaser
take
does
my shit home, those bullet points, and it was in my computer, and I would edit it as what
Okay.
happened that weekend. I loved that process.
Yeah.
So I always had it, like bing, 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 bing. But
You don't do crowd work, do you?
yeah, sure. If somebody, you have to
If
sometimes.
somebody gets involved, yeah.
Well, they're not usually, people call it heckling. It's only heckling if it's hostile.
Yeah.
If they think they're helping or
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
supportive, and of course they're fucking up your timing because you're right at the end
They
of
wait for the punchline, yeah. They don't know they're doing that.
They
Well,
don't know.
here's the evolution of stand-up put-downs to a heckler. 80s or early 90s, I don't come to Jack in the Box and bother you when you're working. Boom, right? 2020, I don't come to your job and slap the dick out of your mouth.
While you're
and that's the difference. Sorry, folks.
No, we did that in 1982.
Oh, you did?
Absolutely.
You did
I don't
that
come
joke?
That
Okay.
I remember that when I was in the club starting, and that's the early '80s. I don't come
Okay.
down to where you work and knock the dick out of your ass.
You know what's funny?
We weren't like afraid to say that.
I
in the
didn't know
80s.
that.
What was this? The 1880s? No,
I was a Christian comic. I didn't get out much.
Oh no.
I actually had a guy knock the dick out of my mouth when I was working. And I was like, was he a
That was
comedian?
not Kevin Nealon. You've heard this story, but you're not.
No, I missed the fuck out of it.